You are looking right now at celebrations in Israel and Gaza, both of them, after a ceasefire and hostage deal has been reached. 15 months since the fighting began, 251 people, hostages, were kidnapped by Hamas.
The road to this deal has not been easy. I've worked in foreign policy for decades. This is one of the toughest negotiations I've ever experienced. And we reached this point because of the pressure that Israel built on Hamas, backed by the United States.
The deal is expected because it's been announced but doesn't take effect yet. It's expected to stop all fighting in Gaza and to release some, but not all, of the remaining hostages. And it's unclear the state of hostages there, of course, who was alive, who was not. The deal will happen in 3 phases as we understand it right now. In the first, Hamas will release 33 hostages, and that will include some Americans. Then Israel, in exchange, will release hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. And that happens simultaneously. Among the Americans expected to be released, Sagi Dekelhen. His story is one that you know because you have seen his father on this show again and again since Sagi was captured 15 months ago. Sagi's family originally from Connecticut. He's the father of 3 young girls, and you know, if you know the story, the littlest one, the baby, was born while he was a hostage. So he's going to come back to a year-old child. His father, Jonathan, has been on the show again and again, tirelessly advocating for his son, and Jonathan is with me tonight out front. Jonathan, those times talking to you and seeing you, I know that you never let yourself believe that this could happen. And here we are, and I know the but is everything to you, which is that the ceasefire takes effect Sunday, and of course today is Wednesday. So what have you been told about this deal?
Well, quite honestly, I know about as much as you know about the deal. To the best of my knowledge, none of the hostage families has really gotten any kind of update as to the details of this agreement. Clearly, this is progress. The mere fact of having gotten to a point where the 2 sides, Israel and Hamas, have signed an agreement, that is progress. But it's a lifetime between now and the start of this ceasefire on Sunday. But no less important, I mean, it's an enormous effort that the incoming Trump and outgoing Biden administration have put into getting this far. I believe it will require at least as much effort now from the Trump administration to see this through all 3 phases. You know, here in the Middle East, it goes sideways very quickly. And so we are going to need, our region and the world is going to need sustained effort really to make this happen until all 98 hostages are home.
And you say, you know, all 98, of course, this would only be 33. But Jonathan, I mean, gosh, your son, he's a man. This has been 15 months. So many did not think that so many hostages could be alive and able to be released. That in and of itself could be a miracle. Are you even allowing yourself at this point to believe, to think that you might see Sagi again in just 3 days?
Well, I don't know how long it's going to take. 3 days, 3 weeks, I don't have a clue. But I've held this same image in my mind since October 8th of 2023, which is Sagi walking into a room somewhere or down a hallway, and I hope on his own 2 feet, and his now 3 little girls will run and leap into his arms, and he can reunite with his wife. And after this hell that he has been through, and you know the suffering that his family has gone through, and that alone, and that sustained image and the possibility that it's going to come true sometime soon is what sustains me more than kind of a belief that any of the parties necessarily is completely committed to getting this done.
So sources, Jonathan, do tell us, and at least as we understand it, and I will say it's a little unsettling to think that I may know as much as you know when this is your child, your family, but they tell us that Sagi is one of just 2 Americans, so he and 1 other on the list of hostages that are supposed to be released in this 33 hostages. Have they told you that? I mean, have they confirmed to you that he's on the list? And have they said anything about his physical health?
Well, as far as his physical health is concerned, we knew from over a year ago with the release of the first 100 women and children in the first negotiated agreement for hostage release. We knew from a handful of them who were from our kibbutz, who saw Sagi briefly in the tunnels under Gaza before they were released, that he had been wounded. And we kind of knew that already. So Sagi was wounded on October 7th. It remains to be seen whether or not he is one of the releasees. We have not received, our family has not received official confirmation from Israeli or U.S. authorities that Sagi indeed is slated to come out with that first batch of 33 hostages.
And is there someone that you talk to regularly from the State Department? I mean, are they, obviously, I know you would have a personal relationship with them. I'm sure they'd try to tell you what they could, but I can't imagine what it must feel like to be in this moment and to not know if all of this is being done and your son's on a list.
Well, I hope this is the final chapter in the living hell that we've experienced for the last 15 months. In answer to your question, we have continuous contact. We've been very lucky, privileged to have ongoing contact with many parts of the Biden administration. Right now, we have yet to hear from them about this very question: who exactly is going to be released as of Sunday? We've also had very good informal relationships with the incoming senior administration officials in the Trump administration, but they only assumed their posts, of course, as of Monday. So, no complaints on our part. On the contrary, we're incredibly grateful that the Trump team and the Biden team have worked so hard together, really shoulder to shoulder, in the last couple of months since the election to get this one thing done.
Well, Jonathan, obviously every moment, no one can truly comprehend what these moments are like for you, but also the fact that you're even in this moment. What an incredible miracle to get news like this when, of course, we know others have not gotten this far. Thank you so very much, and I hope that